What's up, guys? Flippin' Steve here, coming to you from the 302 in my home, all alone. My wife is at work. I don't know where my daughter's at. I haven't even been able to find Crazy Daisy today. I told you to stay down. Today's video, I do kind of have a subject matter that I want to talk about. I want to touch on you guys about negotiating, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and just 3 or 4 tips or tricks to help you maximize your deals as far as your sales, and also when you're selling to not be taken advantage of. First, did make a trade on Instagram yesterday. Justin Fields, Blue Prism Select PSA 10. I think it's a pop of 25 or 26. Numbered out for $199. Picked this up a couple weeks ago. Going out in trade on Instagram for a Tom Brady case hit insert out of Luminance. It's called Luminance Radiance in a BGS 9.5. There's a picture of it. Also show it to you guys when it comes in. Not really a market value on that Tom Brady, as there's not many comps. The Justin Fields sits at about 130. Sales are going between 120 and 140. So we valued the Brady at about 140. The Fields, of course, has more potential if something happens with his career this season. But the Brady, to me, is a good card that hopefully, I can mark it up $50 to $75 with there being no market on it, and being able to flip it for that little bit of profit. What do we always do here in the 302? Say it with me, guys. We reuse our shipping materials. Also received a package, which we will open later in this video. Red Meat Monday here in the 302, because they're tired of hearing about the 302. Got the organic grass-fed sirloin from a local farm. We're going to talk about engagement. Now, from a buyer standpoint, what I mean by engagement is you want to inquire about cards, you want to ask prices, and more importantly, you want to make offers, all right? And this could be in person, this could be online, this could be on eBay, whatever platforms that you're using. And that's also important. Engage across all platforms. Don't be afraid to put your offers out there. If you look at something, especially on eBay, and somebody has a high buy it now price on it, and they have an OBO or best offer, don't be afraid to shoot an offer. Even if you think that it's low, a lot of times people have their items overpriced or not even updated. That's very important. Some people don't keep up with their inventory. I made a purchase this week that was listed for $750 or best offer. And I made an offer of $200 and it was accepted. Because some dealers are just looking to trim the fat and get rid of inventory that they may have been sitting on a while. And again, like I said, it's very important because they may not have updated prices. So if you know the market value of a card, whether it's online, but especially in person, if you know a comp on it, offer fair, okay? Don't look at a $1,000 card that's actually selling for $900 to $1,100 and be like, hey, I'll give you $400 for that card. You don't want to insult a seller and come right in with a really lowball offer. It's really going to make it tough for people to want to work with you. Even if you're willing to come up to a price for them, start at something that's going to be kind of fair for both parties, and then work into a price that you're more comfortable with from that point. Make sure you keep in mind, this is all stuff that I like to do personally. You may do things differently, but this is the way I like to approach deals from my perspective. One thing that I like to do when I want to make an offer on a card, or I tell somebody a price that I'd like to be at, is I never like to use a percentage. And I know we hear nowadays that people are buying at 70%, they're buying at 60%, repackers are buying at 90%. If you are willing to offer very, very strong, you can say, hey, I'll give you 90% of comp value for that card, because that's not an insulting offer, and that number 90% actually sounds very good to most people. But if you're looking to come in at 60 or 70%, don't use the percentage number. It's more of a human psyche thing. Use the dollar number, okay? Make it sound more like money. So if a card is $100, don't say, hey, I got to be at 60% on that. Because then they're looking at you as, oh, you're trying to buy off them to make more money off of them. Come in and say, hey, I'd like to be at $60 on that card. And more than likely, they're going to give you a counter at like 80 or 85, and you might be able to settle on 70 or 75%, or $70 or $75. And instead of using a percentage, you're using a dollar number, and it makes the negotiation feel more real, and it makes the seller feel like, they have money coming in for their card. You're offering money. You're not offering them a percent. And I know that sounds weird, but the human psyche works in weird ways. And that's one way that I find to be effective for me when I start the negotiation for a deal. Got this cut up for some fajitas. We got it cut up for some steak and eggs, a couple extra pieces. Kids, if you're watching this video, do not play with knives. Get your parents to do this stuff. And we got the fat scrapped pieces over here. I'll cook these up and put them in a little package so that Crazy Daisy can have a couple of these per day as like a treat.
Because she likes the steak pieces.
As a seller, because we've been talking about from a buyer's standpoint, is when you're entertaining your offers, whether they're online or whether they're in person, counter fairly as well. One thing that I like to do, and you guys saw on my last video or 2 videos ago where I sold a Kyler Murray card on My Slabs, I listed it for $1,000. I got an $850 offer, and I counted with $875. Okay. Sometimes people will buy on impulse. They'll make you an offer, an impulsive offer, and the more time that they have to think about it, they will tend to back out again. So when you get an impulsive offer or you get an offer that really feels strong, counter fairly, because you don't want to scare away your buyer and you don't want to give them tons of time to think about it. I mean, how many times have you asked yourself this question? Put a card that you really like on your eBay watch list because in the moment you really like it and you want to buy it, but you let it go for a day or two, and then you realize, man, you know what? I really don't want to spend that money on that card. It's kind of the same aspect. If you're selling to someone, if it's on eBay, make sure you're responding to your offers quickly, or even My Slabs, because if they sit for a couple days, a buyer might be like, man, I hope that they decline, or I hope that they counter me. That way I can get out of this offer. So offer fairly, respond quickly, because impulsive buyers will lose interest if they don't get the results or a response quickly.
Got that breakfast.
Something I'd like to add before I forget. And again, this is going to strictly be my personal preference. My experience when it comes to setting up at shows is I don't like to price my cards. A couple years ago in Culture Collision, I didn't sticker price my cards. I had people like inquire about the cards, and I did very well every single day. It was a different time in the market. I understand that. But then this year at Culture Collision on day 1, which was Friday, was my biggest sales day. And I did not have my cards stickered. Day 2, which was Saturday, you would typically think would be the biggest day for someone doing sales, and it was my lowest. On Sunday, I removed my sticker prices again just for the couple hours that I was there on Sunday, and on Sunday I outsold what I did on Saturday. So to me, I believe if someone has to inquire about a card, you can then start a conversation, give them a fair price. Now, if it's something that people are asking about constantly and it actually distracts you from doing other deals because people want to know about a certain popular card and they either don't want to ask because they don't want to interfere with what you're already doing, or you have to stop what you're already doing to answer them, you may want to specifically pick a couple cards in your showcase that you want to price. But the rest of them, leave out, because when people ask, you can put the card in their hand, say, hey, take a look at it. You can give them your price. You can talk and you can engage. And a lot of times that's really what's going to kick off the deal. And putting that card in their hand makes them want to have it just as much as when they pull cash out and a seller sees it, they want to sell. Just had someone on my front porch. It was just Amazon dropping off a package. I was kind of hoping for Ed McMahon and Dick Clark, or even Scarlett Johansson. You know, that would have worked too. Look how far away from my door they put my package. Got some Card Saver 1s and a new LED magnifier. You guys know what time it is. I'll show that to you later on. Going to swing by a couple platforms very quickly so the video doesn't run too long. Starting with the Figgity Feebay. We'll hit up my watch list. As you can see, don't have anything ending on my watch list for another 2 days. And again, this Justin Fields Optic Contenders, number 7 out of 10, being sold by DC Sports. This card is back up for auction. Search this, sold listings, you'll see where this same card on February 7th, and I know because I was watching, did close to 2,200, 2,150, 52 bids, and number 7 out of 10 on DC Sports. So it looks like this was probably an unpaid item, so DC Sports reconsigned it. We'll check the bid history on it. I mean, 12 bidders and 52 bids for 12 bidders is kind of a lot, but they all look legit. There is one at 0 down here at 1750, but coming in, you got 642, 425, 1573. So 3 different, what tends to look like legit bidders. So somebody was willing to pay up for this card, but probably had second thoughts and was like, man, I'm not sending in $2,200 for a Justin Fields card. I don't know if I blame him there. I don't blame him for not wanting to buy it. I do blame him for bidding on it and not buying it. I mean, that's a pretty shitty thing to do. Back to my watch list. Got a Mahomes silver on there. Again, I'm watching this card at auction. You don't see them go at auction very much because people like those buy it nows. They don't like to let their stuff go at auction. It tends to go cheaper. Looking at some Aaron Rodgers Jets case hits. I feel like if he comes back for the Jets this year and does really, really good, the New York
fan base will go crazy for his Jets cards, and there's not many really nice case hits of his out there, so I think there's value there. Checking up on the Kyler Murray, you can see where the Kyler Murray contenders is listed here for $850. I'll show you guys my ended list, that auctions that ended last night. I missed out on this contenders orange ticket, which I actually like better than the gold. It's more of a color match, numbered out of 25. Be careful though. All of Justin Fields' autographs from this season were redemption, especially in the contenders. So they're usually sealed by Panini. Typically when you see something that's supposed to be sealed by Panini and it's missing the Panini sealed sticker, it means someone probably busted it out and looked at it and either had it graded and didn't get the grade they want, so they snapped it, or they looked at it and were like, man, I don't want to send this to grading because there's a defect. So again, I'm always wary when I know a card is a redemption and it's not in its sealed case from Panini. One thing that does give me some confidence is this went last night for $725 with 40 bids. This is the teal out of 149 Kyler Murray contenders, PSA 10 optic contenders. Now, it's pretty legit here with 10,803 as the winner. Doesn't look like there's anybody running this up. And even though it's numbered out of 149 and the red is numbered out of 199, I believe the red is a better card. And I have 3 of the reds, and one being a PSA 10. I have 2 BGS 95s. And I paid a total for mine of $300 each. I paid a total of $900, $250, $300, and $350 actually. So I have 3 reds, $900, and a blue last night went for $725. So it makes me feel good about mine. In fact, I may go ahead and list some more random stuff here. Picked up a case hit luminance of Travis Kelce. This was only $20. They accepted my best offer. Hidden gem on some cards like this. Get it graded. It'll definitely draw more than $20. And I picked up this Tom Brady. This is a Pop 5. A cool looking airborne insert, color match. Got some shine to it. And a Pop 5 for $32. I mean, you just can't beat that. I put that out and $75 sticker it, and it's a winner.
I'm going to make it quick and talk about comps because I know you guys are tired of listening to me. Know the value of your cards. Also know the strengths and the weaknesses of your cards, which doesn't always relate to value. But if you have a card that's comping regularly on the market where multiple sales per week, 3, 4, 5 sales, you're going to want to take, whether you're a seller or a buyer, the last 3 to 5 comps and average those together and get yourself an average price of what a card normally sells for or at. One thing I want to say is a lot of people, especially when they're buying from you, they want to exclude buy it now prices. Only want to use auction prices. And of course, that's going to be beneficial to them as a buyer because auctions always end lower than buy it nows. But that does not mean the buy it now price should always be excluded. Exclude it if it looks ridiculous. If a card is normally selling for $200, $250, and then you see a buy it now at $500 or $550, then yes, that's someone trying to pump the market. But if you see one end at $250, and then you see a buy it now at $300, that means someone lost that auction and they wanted that card bad enough to just go buy one for $300. So don't always exclude them, and don't let buyers persuade you into excluding them. They will do that because it's to their benefit. But on the other end, they'll buy from you. When they go to sell, they're sure as hell going to include in the buy it now comps because it's going to be to their benefit as a seller, just not as a buyer. So again, be very strong and very firm with that. If it's a make or break thing on a deal, then do what you want. But again, just keep that in mind. When I say know the strengths and weaknesses of your cards, this is typically going to be on cards that don't sell a whole lot, and maybe the last comp was 2 months ago or a month ago. So make sure you know the strength. Make sure you know the buzz going on around the player on your card, whether the season's coming up, they've done something good in the hobby or in their sport, something that may have boosted their market since the last sale. Also know the strength, if you're selling patch cards or autograph cards. If someone shows you a comp, make sure that autograph is clean. If yours is clean, make sure it's not off the card. Make sure it's on the card and looks good. A lot of times, people will show you a comp of an autograph card where the autograph was either smudged or off the card, and it's going to go cheaper, and they're going to want to buy yours at the price of the last comp. And you stand strong and be like, look, the autograph on mine is much more clean. And that also goes to do with patch cards. If someone is looking at a single colored napkin and trying to give you a comp and your card is a 3 or 4 color multicolored patch, then again, the comps just aren't going to line up. Make sure you know the strengths and the weaknesses of your cards. It's honestly really all the extra info I can give you on that. Also, make sure you're using like a site like 130point.com. You see me use it all the time. It'll help give you comps across multiple platforms, not just eBay. It'll include PWCC. It'll include MySlabs, Pristine and Heritage Auctions, and a couple more, I do believe. And it'll also show you what a card sold for. If eBay sold a card on a buy it now or best offer accepted, it'll show you what the best offer was, where eBay sales will only show you what the card was listed at.
A card that came in the mail today, it's a Saquon Barkley Contenders 9-5-10 auto. This is the playoff ticket numbered out of 25. The reason I bought this is one of these unnumbered sold in a BGS 9-5-10 for 125 bucks. I picked this up for 205. Typically, the playoff tickets and the championship tickets numbered out of 25 will go 2.5 to 3 times more than what the regular ticket did. Then I look at this easily being, probably a $250 card. So to being able to get it to 205 when the market was down just makes a lot of sense. Again, it's all about timing. The two other that I picked up previously that you guys seen, PSA 9 did 150. I got this raw copy for 115. So that tells me I can send this in and get it graded. Even if it gets a 9, I'm safe. If it gets a 10, I'm looking for some profit there. And then the cracked ice, which is easily the best one, numbered out of 24. I bought this off ComC for 280. The last 2 eBay comps did 350. Got this for 280. BGS 9.5 actually did 630 bucks. So even if this grades in a 9, this easily being a $400 card graded, 400 to 450. So again, when I look at stuff and I say, really, I can't lose even if it doesn't grade perfect, to me, it's a safe purchase.
I know the video is running long, but please stay with me for this last tip. It is easily the most important and the one that will cause you mainly from getting ripped off. It's a bad term, but it will prevent you from getting ripped off. Really quickly, I show my cards on Instagram before I post to YouTube. YouTube just takes more time. If I get a card in the mail, it goes on IG quickly. Follow me at flipping_Steve if that is your thing and you want to see the cards early. If not, that's fine too. But give me a follow. It's easy to do, just like liking and subscribing. I did find out that I also have a promo code for Veriswap. Now, it's not exclusive to me. I'm not sponsored. In fact, I run the platform down a little bit. I do have a little bit of fun surfing the platform every now and then, though. If you want to use my code down below, I'll put it down below. You will get $15 in free trade credit, and so will I. You could also use any of your favorite content creators if they have one as well, too. I'm not just trying to, pump this up for me. But if you want to help me out and yourself out, go ahead and use that. I'm not sponsored. I'm not affiliated. In fact, you can go to the platform and tell me whether you like it or not, and you can trash it just like I do. Also in the mail came this awesome, cool magnifier that I'm going to use to evaluate my cards. If you guys are interested in something like this, comment below and I'll tell you about it. I don't have an Amazon link or anything like that, but I'll just give you the details on this if that's something that you're interested in. People tend to ask me questions about the tools that I use. Let's dive into the last thing. All right, guys, this is what is known as the notorious or the infamous double dip. And you may say, what the hell is the double dip? It sounds good. It sounds like ice cream. Well, it's not. It will melt away your money very quickly. Anyway, the double dip is when someone approaches you and they want to do a bundle. Now, the bundle deal is something that's accepted. When you're a buyer, when you're a seller, when you're a buyer, the more you buy, the more of a discount you intend to get. People always say buy in bulk no matter what it is, even if it's not sports cards. However, people will also ask for that discount up front. So they'll start with a card and they'll be like, hey, what's your price on this card? And you're like $100. And they'll be like, well, I can give you 85 or I can give you 80. And you're like, okay, that sounds good. Then they put that card to the side. Now they've gotten it for 80. They've gotten it 20% off a discount of what you're offering, and they're buying it for 80%. They didn't buy another card, and they're like, hey, what do you want for this $50 card? And you're like, 35. So now they've gotten $15 off there. Then they pull out another card, and they're like, what do you want for this $300 card? They're like, I can be at like 75%. And so you go at them at like 220, 230. All right, now they're getting a discount again on a third card. Then at the end, when they add up their total of cards, say for instance, they have $1,000 worth of sticker value. You guys have already agreed on a single card basis of $800 total. But then when they go to get the final deal, they take that $800 number and then they ask for a bundle discount on top. They ask for another 10 or 20%. Oh, well, since I'm buying more, can I get these for 700 or 650? Now, don't forget that you've already given them 20 to 25% off each card. And now at the end, they're trying to get the single discount. And at the end, they're also trying to get the bundle discount. They're trying to double dip on you. I want to make you aware of that because a lot of times that's the people who are buying for repackers. They will get a discount on each card, you know, a 20% discount on each card that they're buying off of you in the single. And then when they go to bundle at the end, they're like, hey, I'll give you 90% for all of this. And 90% sounds really good and really strong. But really, when you think about it, they're giving you 70 or 65% because they've already discounted each card. And then they're coming over top at the end to get another 10%. Just be careful with that ploy. Make sure you track each card individually. And if you're going to give them a bundle discount, that's fine. But add up the entire sticker value of your cards and then give that bundle discount. All right? Don't give individual discounts and then a bundle discount, or you'll really be cheating yourself. Make sure you're firm, make sure you're confident, and make sure you go into your negotiations knowing what you're doing, and don't let people take advantage of you. Because as great as this hobby is, and as fun as it is, there are people out there that will take advantage of you because there is money involved, and this is a business. And if they feel like they can make more money by using a ploy like a double dip on you, then they will. Just don't be victim. Be educated and know what you're doing, and this is a great hobby to be in. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one.
Daisy, you're so big. Oh my God, giant dog.